before we get copyrighted.
So yeah, before we get copyrighted, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Judging by the way we came into this, playing some Travis Scott, I think you know what the theme of this next time is going to be.
It is going to be Travis Scott. It's going to be AstroFest, which if you haven't heard about that, first off, get out of that rock that you're living under. It's a good start.
Yeah, but this is big news.
Huge festival. I got friends who wanted to go to it. I'm glad they didn't. Part of me is glad they didn't because of how fucking crazy it ended up going down. So, Marco, break down for the people kind of what happened there at NRG Stadium.
If you aren't familiar with what like a music festival is, again, like Joey said, get out of from the rock you're living under. Wow,
you got through it. It took me a second too.
Right, so music festival, everybody goes there, artists play, you jump up and down, blah, 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 you mosh pit, you go crazy. The thing is that a lot of these festivals, right, they can get like, everybody's bouncing around, so you have a sense of like claustrophobia in a bit, everybody's coming together.
This is the art of mosh pitting.
Art of mosh pitting, 101.
Jesus Christ,
But yeah, so there's people jumping around, bumping into each other, like obviously you're going long periods without water, if you don't have water, without food. Some people consume things that maybe they shouldn't consume.
Like what? Are you talking about like expired like chips?
Yeah, it's totally.
So yeah.
And it's shit like that. And then right, so there are people who just for whatever other reasons, under other circumstances, go into things like cardiac arrest. Like there are people who just like amidst all that kind of chaos, they get hurt, they fall down, and they get trampled on by a bunch of kids.
It's physically demanding.
It is physically demanding. However, it is quite unheard of. We're at a music festival.
Yes.
You hear, is it 11 confirmed people now?
Last I checked, I mean, this was like the day.
Yeah.
It was 8. I don't know if 11. I know there was a lot more people who went to the hospital.
Yeah, I know there
were.
But
I think it's still 8 confirmed deaths, at least that are directly attributed to AstroFest.
Okay, yeah. So 8 people have at least confirmed dead. Like, so I'll just say that. I'll just go run with that statistic for now. But 8 people died at Astro because of things like that, like cardiac arrest. Being trampled on by other people.
Before we even get to the trampling part, one thing I need to say, because this is going to get to when we talk about our direct opinions on it later and we start presenting facts. This is a fact that people need to know right now. They had an entire, think about it when you go to like an NFL stadium or like an NBA stadium, they got all those parking lots around. You're basically in those parking lots. Yeah. So it's not as big as Lollapalooza where you got blocks and all that. And I will say this right now, Lollapalooza, there's like 40 water stations. There's like 60 restaurants that you can buy a water from. Yeah. At AstroFest, in that entire big-ass parking lot area, think about how big those fucking areas are, especially in Houston. Yeah. They had 2 water stations, one at the south end and one at the north end. There are projected over a fucking, 80,000 people there?
Yeah, there are people. Fuck ton of people.
Think about that many people on a Texan day. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. It's going to be somewhat warm. At a fest, like you said, you're going to be next to people congested, jumping around, listening to music. And you got 2 water stations.
Yes, especially if you don't have a water pack with you, those festivals can be tough.
Yeah. And even to go refill that water pack, you might see a line that's that long. You don't even do it, and the next thing you know, you've been there for fucking 7 hours.
And I know people I keep saying they jump around and everything, but you don't actually understand how crazy these mosh pits can actually fucking get. Like you have these mosh pits where huge as fuck. And then you have these cracked out kids just running full speed at each other and just bouncing back and forth.
This ain't no light in Homecoming. This is real shit.
Yeah, so
especially Travis Scott.
Experiencing all that in the right environment can be fun, right? Like I've gone to a few music festivals where obviously, thankfully nothing has happened, but for whatever reason at Travis Scott's concert, because of poor logistical construction of all this, you talked about the water stations, food stands, stuff like that. It was understaffed.
Yeah, did you see that shit get trampled?
Yes, the barricades and gates.
Yeah, the barricades got pushed like they were fucking toothpicks. Yeah. Excuse me.
You just have a fucking swarm of kids.
I mean, I'm gonna say this right now because I don't want to bash on it too much because everyone on the internet is. People break into Lolla every year. People have run over those fences at Lolla every year. But I'm telling you right now, that shit looked easy, and there was a lot of people running through them bitches.
A lot of motherfuckers.
A lot of people. That shit was 30 seconds long. That shit was just people.
The moment, the moment that shit started falling, just.
Yeah, it was everyone.
Yeah, it was everybody. But yeah, so understaffed, obviously, just security wasn't there. Water, food. Ended up with the loss of 8 lives.
8 lives.
At a place where you normally expect to have fun, you don't expect these things to happen. You never expect anybody to die, period. But the fact that 8 kids went out to a music festival and didn't make it back to their families is sad.
Here's the thing that actually was. I'm glad you said that specific word, kids. There was 8 of them. One of them was 9 years old.
Yep.
One of them was 10 years old.
Yep.
2 of them were teenagers.
Yep.
Meaning half the people that died there we'll save that for later, actually. We're just presenting facts for right now.
Yeah.
So 4 people who died were under the age of 18.
Mm-hmm.
And the other 4 who died were just other people who
like
go to music
adults,
festivals. Yeah. There has been, some of those deaths have been linked to a person going around, and there's been other reports of people ODing.
Yeah.
Someone lacing party drugs like ecstasy and all that with fentanyl, which anybody who knows overdoses, fentanyl is almost always involved.
Yeah.
So to just go to a festival and lace that, because people go to these festivals, like you said, to take things that they shouldn't. And I'm going to be explicit in this point because we have to explain it. Hardcore drugs. When you're doing hardcore drugs, I never recommend buying it off a person at a festival in the first place.
Well, yeah, to begin with, why the fuck are you buying...
Why the fuck are you lacing drugs? That's what I was going to say. Why are you lacing drugs with fentanyl to give away? And then, yes, look at his...
Yeah, what type of cruel fucking person do you have to be to, first of all, like...
I'm going to go to this awesome music festival.
I want to kill people. Like, what? People. Yeah, like, I want to... No, that's fucked up. And then, 2, like, why the fuck?
Why?
Or, like, if a random person comes up to me and says, hey, you want to buy some drugs? No. For that exact same reason. Like, I don't know who that person is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what's in it. Yeah.
As I've grown older, I have become more and more comfortable with the with drugs in general, with talking about them, with thinking about doing them, all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not like that scary. You're a 6th grader in health class and they're teaching you about LSD for the first time or something like that.
Yeah.
But to this day, there's one thing from my childhood: stranger motherfucking danger.
Yeah, facts. Stranger danger.
There are drugs in the world, and you have the freedom to take them or you don't. But never in your life, when you are in a public place where it is easy to be taken advantage of, should you let someone take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Because in that, like, in my opinion, like, I don't want, like, of course, the people who were affected by it, I feel terrible for them. We never want that to happen, but it's also, and with all due respect, walking some thin lines here, walking on thin glass, it's in part their fault more than your average case. Like, when it happened to Mac Miller, that's super fucked up because this is a guy you've been grabbing drugs from. This is a guy you consider your boy. That's when he gets like, really, this is more of like, that dude is fucked up. You should never go to a festival to do this. But you also shouldn't buy the drugs.
Yeah, so you shouldn't be buying drugs off of random people. And I'm glad that we were able to talk about that a little bit. But kind of moving towards the other part, like the other deaths that happened in this fest, is because of this poor staffing, right?
Yes, this is the
There are videos of people trying to get like Travis Scott's or other workers' attention, saying, "Yo, we got people passed out here," and they just bat an eye, not pay attention to it.
There is a viral video where the girl literally says, "There's a dead body in there. Stop the show. Stop the show."
Yeah,
but she was telling the camera guy. We'll get more of that.
Yeah. So and there's another. I know I saw another video of like a dude standing next to a cameraman saying, "Yo, like we need to get these people out." The video of like 2 workers going up to Travis Scott, like apparently whispering something to him. Don't know what was said, but Travis Scott was like, whatever. Then there's that one video of him still with autotune. Fuck, what's exactly what he said? He's like, yo, like medics or make way for medics.
Like, someone passed out over there. Medics get there. And he like stopped the show for like a good like 15, 30 seconds.
Yeah, but then he saw like, I don't know. So there's a lot of videos of just like blatant just ignorance. Blatant ignorance.
The worst one I saw was when he was kind of like looking. He looked concerned to some degree in this one, but he's looking over and he's just like, yeah,
that's the one I'm saying. The humble.
And the guy was like getting carried out. But so a guy like Travis, the reason why this is so controversial is of course the 8 deaths, but beyond that is he's a guy who kind of promotes this. If you've seen anything, if you've gone to any Travis,
if you know
he
anything
promotes
about
the idea
Travis.
of rage. Like he's a rager and he likes the idea of like, if you're not getting hurt in the mosh pit, you're not doing it right. And that's a saying. You don't actually mean that. Back in the day, the metal people, they actually meant that. And that's why mosh pits were so frowned upon and no one wanted them. Now it's like, you're going in there and like we said, it's physically demanding. You might end up with some bumps and bruises. You might roll an ankle. You might twist your wrist falling. You never know.
Yeah.
No one should ever get seriously hurt. No one should ever pass out and be trampled on. And no one should ever fucking die. There's rules to mosh pitting that even metal fans now, EDM fans, they all follow.
Yeah.
If someone's on the floor, you stop.
And see, so that's the thing too. Like to all the music festivals I've gone to, whenever there is somebody who's like passed out or about to pass out or somebody that fell, it's like, yo, we need to get this person out, get them out. And people will make way to get these people out. Like at every music festival I've gone to, everybody's been super just nice about that type of shit. Like everybody's there to have a good time. Nobody wants to see somebody get seriously hurt. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, that's somebody's kid. They need to come home. And it is a little bit infuriating when you see like that autotune video with like Travis, like like shit like that. Like I'm like, dude, like this person is like Like, I don't know. Like, it could have been handled a lot differently.
Yeah.
One thing to say too, that despite while a lot of this does fall on Travis's shoulders, it is not entirely his fault. It's his team's fault.
Yes, I'm glad you said that.
And I want you to go into that because I know you have.
Yeah. So my thing is that, especially as someone who works in events and entertainment now, is I understand not how much goes into things, but how many people go into everything that you fucking see. Like, even I thought that I had somewhat of a big role helping with the Illini, but I'm one of like 100 people putting on what you're seeing every time. So it's like, I understand that it's easy to point to a guy who promotes raging and is the face and is like the leader of the planning.
And he does deserve part of the blame. He
deserves his fair share of the blame, but he's getting a lot more than he should, in my opinion. Like, he deserves what he's getting, don't get me wrong, and I understand why the culture is doing what it's doing, but my thing is also with the culture, because, hear me out, the reason why I don't like the argument of, oh, he's doing this to people, blah, 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 like, he's making them rage, and that's all these kids care about, and that's why they don't care about this anymore. That's not his problem. His problem isn't to raise this.
He's just the fucking face.
He's the face of it. My problem is, when you said earlier, people always work together to make sure everyone has their lane. I know we're running a little close on to get to the next segment. When they make the lane, that's not his problem. They're all so, like, Travis Scott, it's crazy for us because we kind of were mature by the time Travis Scott blew up. But kids who are, like, in middle school, early high school, when Travis Scott started to blow up after AstroWorld, it's easy to see him as this, like, crazy, like, icon. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get more to that in the next segment about what I mean by that. Because that is a little bit more of a tricky segment.
We'll keep this going, and we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So before I even break down what I was about to break down, I just realized I need to kind of jump back a little bit.
Okay. Rewind.
Travis Scott's the face, and he's the lead planner or whatever. But at the end of the day, the amount of people that had to touch all these plans, I guarantee you Travis Scott, as much as he plans Astrofest, isn't the one saying, like, oh, the restaurant should go, or the food truck should go here, and the water station should go here. That's someone else's job. That's a planner, and that's that dude's fault.
Yeah, and he's not the dude who's not in charge of, like, all the, like, hiring people.
Right.
Like, he's not the dude just being like, all right, like, we need this amount of people.
Travis Scott is a celebrity and a performer. He goes in there and says, I want this, 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 and this, and 50 people work to make sure he gets that, and then 50 other people make sure that everything that he's not even thinking about gets fixed, such as parking. Travis Scott's not like, oh, I want to make sure there's enough parking. No one's going to say that. He's going to say, I want this big-ass stage right here. I want this lighting. I want this timing. I want these people. That's Travis Scott's job. I want it to look like this. I want it to market like this. That's Travis Scott's job. I don't even know if he does his own marketing with everything, but it looks like he does. Yeah. So I'm going to give him his credit. But there's people who are planning all the shit that he's not thinking of to make sure they have a safe time. Yeah. There's a fire inspector who's supposed to go and make sure everything's okay. There's supposed to be a health guy who goes there and makes sure it's a livable before 3 days before this festival even goes on. There should be a security guy who looks over everything and be like, you know what, this barricade isn't strong enough for the amount of people you have working. You might want to... all that type of shit. But let me get back to what I was saying, because this is the more interesting part of what my case is. Yes, Travis Scott could have done better, or can do better in not promoting the brainless activity. He could have done way better in terms of looking at the crowd. I mean, the one video I saw, got to shout out my girl Billie Eilish. She has fans who, it's crazy because to her music you really don't think it, but she's got some fans who like to do that type of shit. Yeah. She's about the mosh pit and getting lit too. Yeah. Obviously she has her two sides. I didn't know that, There was a concert where she, like, literally she heard one, it was a much smaller concert than what Astrofest was, but she heard, like, a fan was passed out. She grabbed her own personal hydro, like, flask, this type of shit, and was like, do you need water? Like, she stopped the show and was willing to, like, help out. Yeah. And she said, like, you guys are here for a good time. Let me know what you need. Make sure. Like that. As much as I want to say that Travis needs to do that, and he does need to do that a little bit more, those videos were, again, disturbing. But you always said people work together. If you watch those videos, there were people passing out, and the people around them didn't even notice. Because this is what I'm blaming now, and I love blaming this, is the current culture we have going on. Yeah. Travis Scott has reached that crazy superstar peak, which I don't even see him on. Because like I said, we're kind of like, oh, Travis is cool, but he's not like... He's not what a lot of people think he is. No offense to Travis. I mean,
no offense to Travis. I used to be a lot more high on Travis's music. Like,
no. I love Travis. I think he's got great music. But like when people are talking about like him in like the Drake category, the like.
So I think he's earned his respect.
He's not in the Drake category.
He's not in the Drake category. But I think he's earned his respect as being one of those
he's like amigo. He's
super.
Exactly. Like a guy who deserves to be, smashing Kylie.
But. For sure.
But my thing is, when you look at those people, they're so infatuated with him, and they see it. He's the Fortnite guy. They felt like all these people thought they were in fucking Fortnite.
He has a deal with PlayStation, Nike. Like,
yeah, he's got such these like otherworldly things going on that it's like when people got to AstroFest and finally got to see him in the flesh.
But to your point, like with the whole thing with the culture, like I don't know if you saw the one video of like there's a fucking golf cart trying to get out with people passed out on it.
An ambulance golf cart.
Yes, an ambulance golf, and there are people just like jumping on it, like
there was
like
one
raging.
dude who he posted it.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
people were posting with.
We're trying to get these people to
survive the rage.
Yeah, and then like that's crazy to me. I'm like, how ignorant do you have to be as like a human too to just be like yo, these people need help. Like why the fuck am I gonna stop this shit and get in their way of like I'm right now, like they were deciding that person's life in that moment. Yo, like you're either like letting that car go through or like
we don't know if that car gets through that the casualty number is only 7.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like you don't know if like that was 7 or if it could have been like, let's say if that person didn't make it, like it could have been 9.
Yeah,
you know, like
you never know.
I don't know. It's just I think more than anything, like the reason why this is such a big criticism is because logistically it was a shit show. Like
that part's undoubted
terrible. Like you didn't have enough medics for that shit. You didn't have sufficient water. Obviously, the whole promoting kind of like this rage, which I get it. Obviously, like we're both in our 20s, like we understand like what he means by all that.
I'm a marketing guy too, so it's like I don't want to bash him for that because that's such a good marketing stance to be in. Like he has a whole pocket of like it's smart, but.
At the end of the day, you can't promote it to the point where people are losing their lives.
He pushes it. For
sure.
I
think he definitely has. It is to blame for a lot of what happened. I mean, like the promoting the blatant ignorance to just literally watching people die. Like in those videos, like he's aware of that shit's going on and he's not doing anything about it. He's just like, let's keep raging, let's keep like the show goes on. Like I've seen artists before where they'll be like the moment they'll be like somebody stopped, they'll be like, yo, open it up right there. That dude's fucked up. Like, get him out.
Most artists will literally be like, help him, I'll run the song back. Just help him up real quick, and then we'll get back to partying. But he needs to get up.
I don't know. So it was a very tough situation in here, especially because, like I said, I mean,
Travis fans.
we like Travis.
I like Travis.
Like, we like his music. And you just don't want to hear something like him getting shit like this, especially if this is something super serious. Like,
right.
And I think like that video response that he made was bullshit. Like that was a terrible apology video.
I study PR, and the fact that some of these PR stunts are still so bad amazes me.
Yeah,
I took like 2 classes, and
I love the memes they made about it.
Well, the memes are great. Memes are always the internet's undefeated.
Yeah, the internet is undefeated. But I mean, it's a meme because he fucking botched
if that was a sincere apology, it wouldn't be a meme.
Yeah, exactly. Like if there was a sincere apology, this would all be viewed in a slightly better way than it is currently. Like the whole situation is just fucked.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen to Travis. I don't know if he faces any like legal consequences from this.
I think he should.
I think he should as well.
But I think he will. Well,
no, I think he should.
I think he should, and I think he could. But I don't know if he will.
But I don't know, like, to what extent do you think he's gonna like?
Because this is when it goes down to it. This is when it's gonna show how much does Travis himself actually plan this shit, and how much is it just other people.
That is true. I mean, we don't know.
Because at the end of the day, just for him being the guy performing and the face of it, you can't really like get legal action unless you have your hands on a lot of the things
that happen. Yeah.
Because like if you're just like, oh yeah, it's called AstroFest, it's my festival, and I'm the main performer.
But somebody else is planning.
But somebody else is doing everything else. Your camp can get in trouble, and he might have to serve some of that in terms of like the fees and like the public hurt of it. But I don't think he'll face direct legal action.
That is a good point. I mean, we don't know how involved he is.
And this is what I wanted to get back to the people is that I guarantee you a lot of people think Travis is like actually planning AstroFest and like doing all that. And this goes back to my point I was making. This is actually crazy that, you know, our podcast is already connecting itself to earlier episodes. But when we were talking about Curbelo and the guys, at the end of the day, no matter who they are, whether they're a college athlete, whether they're a fucking news anchor, or whether they're Travis Scott performing at AstroFest, they're a human fucking being. Yeah. A single individual human being. No one is worth taking someone else's lives over seeing someone or getting lit to their music. And it's also like, the thing I hate about Travis Scott, especially on the internet, is there's 2 sides to Travis Scott. There's the people who think he's God and the best person ever created, and there's people who thinks he's a talented, worthless piece of shit. There's no more middle ground. Yeah. There's no people like us who are just like, yo, I fuck with Travis. What happened is fucked up. Does he deserve all the blame? No. Does he deserve a lot of blame? Yes. It's like you have to be on one or the other. Yeah. And it's like, at the end of the day, they're fucking people.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, obviously, like I said, I would highly doubt that he meant for all these people to die. Like,
No.
Nobody wants other people to die.
I can also see, like, when he got told that in his ear.
Yeah.
Because after that, like, there's a stretch where, like, Travis sounds, like, weird. Like, he sounds like he's...
But then the argument today is, like, so then why didn't he stop it? Like, what
This is true, and that, like you said earlier, it's fucked up, but it's that show goes on mentality. So it's like, you don't want to you don't want to end Astrofest with the people who are there with, all right, we have to stop, there's 8 people dead, everyone leave. Yeah. You want to be like, you know what, finish out the show, and we'll deal with what the fuck happened, like, once we're done with it.
Yeah. I mean... See,
it's crazy, but like when you're in the moment, like there's a lot of shit that happens like when I'm doing the UMI.
But I think that's the whole reason why people are upset with him, because it's like, yo, you heard that people are dying. Why didn't you even make sure shit was okay? I think that's the true part. Yeah, that's why you're supposed to stop it. Is that you never know if it could have been 7 or it was supposed to be 9. Yeah, so I don't know exactly at what point he knew like all the actual shit that happened. Like yo, these people are actually dying. Shit. But I feel like the moment he found something out that somebody lost his life. At least me, I would have been like, all right, nah.
But you also got to think, Gibby said this is, we don't expect Travis to be 100% like sober when he's on stage, and you know what I mean by that.
That is true.
He's a rich, raging performer.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to go on there and he's stone cold sober. That in the middle of a song he can get told something serious in that ear and he's gonna be able to process and be like, all right, stop.
That is a fair point. I don't know. I mean,
I wish we had Gibby right now instead of for the pick'em part, because he would be like. He's more of a Travis Scott defender. See, I don't like what Gibby's doing either. He's like, he's going to ride and die for Travis Scott right now. He's posting, like, support for him. And then he's got all these girls who are, like, just completely bashing on him. Like, you're both on the wrong side. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you have to... I mean, obviously, you tie a lot of, like, what that musician is as a person because of his, like, music and talent and all that shit. But there comes a point where sometimes, like, all right, you know what? That person is fucked up, but his music's kind of fire. Like, like shit like that. Like... I don't know. Point being is, I think Travis is gonna face
8-6-9, but I would cap if I said I didn't rock to a couple of the songs.
I mean, back when he was big,
that's what I always say when people are like, "Oh, I can't listen to an artist at all if I hate him," and I'm just like, sometimes the shit slaps.
Yeah, like when 6ix9ine first was on the scene,
do I stream him? No.
Was that I don't.
Does it come on and I don't bop my head? That's cap.
Exactly. So I think Travis Scott is gonna face an interesting next few weeks. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly what unfolds. I don't know what's gonna happen to him. I know
that's the thing that I'm thinking about the most is that's like what type of person, because like I'm gonna view him this similar to how I viewed him. Uh-huh. I don't really change my opinions because of public media and like when big shit like this happens, because in my opinion it's just like that's fucked. Let's see how he responds. Like you said, these couple of weeks are big, but my thing is like moving forward within this like next year or two is where does he go? Does he become someone who's hated like DaBaby?
I was gonna say, does he become like another DaBaby, or does he just like find a way to bounce back from this? I don't know. Travis, we shall see.
Travis could have done better, you know that.
Could have done way better.
On the apology next time, man, if you don't mean it, don't do it.
Yeah,
in PR,
that was bullshit.
In PR, that's what they're teaching us in public relations now.
I feel like Stormy could have made a better fucking apology.
But hey, your music's fire. Keep grinding, keep doing better.
And yeah, hopefully, I mean, shit, we'll get you get that whole Houston shit figured out.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next segment.
Back to football.